All right, a would-be thief caught red-handed. Police say he was trying to break into cars at a dealership, but that's not where this story ends. First at 4, Stephen Hernandez with the one thing that left one officer stunned.
One of the more brazen examples.
A 19-year-old behind bars. Akron police say they caught him breaking into all sorts of vehicles at the Akron Kia on West Market Street.
The person got down and they're seen running in the site and are on the site, and I don't know what they're doing.
When police showed up at around 2 on Monday morning, they say they found Christian Caldwell in the parking lot.
Took multiple sets of keys, up to a dozen or more keys that he had in his possession, and started various cars on the property. It appears that he got in at least one of those and just drove it around, and with either some curiosity fashion or some joyride fashion on and or contained on the property.
When officers confronted the 19-year-old, he gave himself up, even offering an interesting explanation as to what he was doing.
Sampling the cars and wanted to know more about them and things of that nature.
That's right. Caldwell told officers he was test driving cars at 2 in the morning. Obviously, officers didn't buy it and slapped the cuffs on him. He faces several charges, including breaking and entering and theft, and is set to face a judge tomorrow morning. Caldwell is currently booked in the Summit County Jail, and there is a chance he could face even bigger charges.
If they determine that the property value that was damaged exceeded a certain amount, then he could be charged with felony vandalism.
I tried reaching out to Akron Kia staff, asking about the extent of the damages both to its cars and property. No one was available for an interview. While police say this is an isolated incident and that Caldwell acted alone, they'll keep a closer watch of West Market Street for now.
This was pretty bizarre.
Stephen Hernandez, 19 News.